Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing well. Today, for our topic of the day, we're going to be talking about the Hindu holiday of Janamashtami. Now, you must be wondering, what is Janamashtami? Well, some other names that you might recognize for Janamashtami are Krishna Janamashtami or Gokulashtami. Janma means life, while Ashtami means eighth. The significance for the number 8 in this holiday we will talk about later. The main significance and focus of this holiday is to celebrate the birthday of Krishna. Yes, Krishna has a birthday, just like you and I do. On the left and on the bottom, you can see some pictures of baby Krishna, which is usually how he's depicted during the holiday. But who is Krishna? Well, Krishna is the 8th avatar of the god Vishnu. That is where the word Ashtami or 8 comes in. He is known to be the god of compassion, tenderness, and love. He also played a major role in the Mahabharata, which many of you must have heard of. It's one of the greatest epics of all time. He was the one who had convinced Arjuna to do his dharma or duty in the Bhagavad Gita. He was known to love to eat butter and steal it, play the flute, and be a mischievous prankster in his childhood, and even into his adulthood. Here you can see a picture of baby Krishna stealing butter. Here is teenage Krishna, and finally, here is adult Krishna. So when do we celebrate this holiday? Well, the answer is a bit complicated. The date changes every year. According to the Hindu calendar, the 8th day of the dark 4th night in the month Bhadan is when we celebrate it. Once again, the number 8 is very significant. However, since we do not use the Hindu calendar, it would be around July or August in our calendar. It is said that he was born around 5,200 years ago in the town of Mathura. In this year, 2020, we'll be celebrating it on August 11th. As many of you know, even though all of India shares many similar qualities, there's also many different states, and in these states, Janmashtami is celebrated very differently. In this video, we can see that there's a celebration going on in the city of Mathura. This is where Lord Krishna Ji himself was born all those many years ago. Due to this, Janmashtami is a very big deal in Mathura. What is considered to be the actual birthplace of Krishna Ji has been converted into a temple called the Krishna Janma Bhumi Mandir, and the main celebrations in Mathura take place there. Here is the Krishna Janma Bhumi Mandir. Inside the temple, there are 3 swings that are meant to symbolize the cradle of Krishna. They make it look even more festive as they decorate these swings as ropes with flowers attached to them. Another important place in Lord Krishna's life is Vrindavan, where he spent much of his childhood. Just like Mathura, Vrindavan takes Janmashtami very seriously. One of the highlights of Vrindavan is Madhuban. It is believed that this was to be where Lord Krishna himself would dance. This is why people come here to dance to honor him, and it is truly when the festival comes to life. In Maharashtra, the most important part of Janmashtami is a festivity called Daihandi. In this festivity, a number of young people who symbolize Govinda or young Lord Krishna form a human pyramid, like they are doing in the video. Aim for the pitcher of thai or curd, which is hung at the top by a string, as they keep chanting Govinda, Govinda while they're doing it. Once they successfully reach the pitcher at the top, they crack it. This whole thing is to commemorate and remember the activities of young Krishna, who is believed to steal all the curd and butter in his own house as well as houses of others around him. One thing that all states have in common is making milk treats to honor Lord Krishna's love for butter and curd. Another tradition that almost all states have is dressing up little kids as Krishna as they show innocence, just like Lord Krishna did in his younger days. Think about all the different traditions we talked about from each part of the country. What was your favorite, and would you ever try celebrating Janmashtami this way? Finally, I would like to talk about the story of Lord Krishna's birth. After all, that is what this holiday is celebrating. Our story takes place nearly 5,000 years ago in a town near the river Yamuna, known as Mathura. Mathura was ruled by an evil king named Kansa. Kansa was so greedy and cunning that he had his own father put in prison so he could name himself King of Mathura. Kansa had a sister named Devaki, who was getting married to King Vasudeva of Yadus. However, Kansa was skeptical because he often fought with Vasudeva and the Yadus. Despite this, he still welcomed the wedding with open arms. After the wedding, he decided to drive the royal couple home himself. But as soon as he got into the chariot, a divine voice thundered from the sky. Evil Kamsa, you don't know it, but now that you are giving Devaki's hand to Vasudev, you have signed your own death warrant. The 8th son born to Vasudev and Devaki will kill you. Hearing this, Kamsa froze with fear, but then he became angry. He thought of killing Devaki, and he said, "How can a child be born when the mother is dead?" So he drew out his sword and raised it to kill his own sister. King Vasudev was horrified at this cruelty and fell to his knees. "Oh Kamsa," he said, "please don't kill your sister. I shall personally surrender to you all the children she gives birth to, so you don't die." He took a step back. "Then you will have to live in my palace as prisoners," Kamsa said, and Vasudev had no other choice but to accept this. Kamsa confined Devaki and her husband King Vasudev in the palace dungeons and kept them under watch all the time. Every time Devaki gave birth to a child in the dungeons, Kamsa destroyed the child. This way, he killed 7 children born to Devaki. However, the night before her 8th child was born, Devaki prayed to the gods. She said, "Almighty gods, please save my child," and then she fell asleep. Then at midnight, Krishna was born. When he was born, the prison was filled with a dazzling and blinding light. Devaki fainted at the sight of it, and Vasudev was mesmerized. The same voice that had spoke to Kamsa said, "Take this child across the river Yamuna and to Gokul, ruled by your friend King Nanda. His wife, Queen Yashoda, had just given birth to a daughter. Exchange your son for this girl child immediately and come back, before anyone comes to know about the birth of Krishna." When Vasudev approached the prison gates, they unlocked by themselves. He was surprised to see that all the guards that were keeping watch on them had fallen asleep. Vasudev left Mathura and soon approached the banks of the Yamuna River. At first, Vasudev was scared to step foot in it, but when he did, the waves parted and created a path for Krishna and Vasudev to walk in. A large black hooded snake also came from the ocean and protected the baby from rain, like an umbrella. After switching the babies, Vasudev came back with King Nanda's daughter. In the morning, Kamsa came to kill the child, but right before he could, the child turned into a goddess. The goddess said, "Foolish Kamsa, you can't kill me. Even if you could, you would gain nothing by killing me. For your slayer is already born. He is now well and alive in a safe place, and one day he will come in search of you and kill you. You can't resist him no matter how hard you try." Therefore, Krishna was able to grow up happily and safely with Mother Yashoda and Father Nanda. And that is the story of Janamashtami. Don't forget to wish Krishna a happy birthday on August 11th.